Hey everybody, I've got my old dear friend. Well, I don't want to call you old because you're a lot younger than I am.
We've been friends for many, many, many years.
Yes, we have. And Kiefer is the executive producer of our documentary.
Yeah.
And Kiefer, a lot of people don't know this, but Kiefer is a great guitar player and a great songwriter.
Well, that's very generous.
And it's true. And, I always enjoyed your music. And the thing that you wrote this song called Leaving California?
No, Goodbye California.
Goodbye
yeah,
California.
It's a new song. I just recently moved. And I've been in Los Angeles off and on for, my gosh, 35 years plus, right? And all of my adult life. And I've left a few times, but I always knew I would come back. And I think this time I knew I was kind of going back home to Toronto, Canada, and then I wanted a small kind of farm, and it was sad for me because I love this place, and so but I wrote this song called Goodbye California because I was moving.
Well, you're only a few-hour plane flight away.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You can always come back, and I'm sure with your business, always doing TV and movies and all that.
Yeah. Well, I'm back here working. It's very funny. So for the last 15 years that I've been living here, I haven't worked in Los Angeles once. I've worked everywhere else in the world, and the first 2 jobs I got since I moved were back here in Los Angeles. So.
Well, I mean, and I'm not saying this to blow smoke, but Kiefer over here is one of the greatest actors I know that's alive, and 24 and Designated Survivor. Designated Survivor, we were so glued to that particular show. It's unbelievable. It's very intense.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's been a unique circumstance doing 24 and Designated Survivor, where you think they're such high concept shows, and then somehow the reality of our world catches up to the shows and makes them a little more topical than maybe you wish.
Well, Designated Survivor was like something happens where they blow up the Capitol.
Yeah.
And you are like 5th or 9th in line to be
Everybody
the
else
president.
is gone, so I become president overnight. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It was a really brilliant idea, and was just glad to be a part of it.
Well, these days, nothing is far out of reach anymore,
Yeah.
So you are an excellent guitar player and musician and songwriter, and I like this tune that you wrote, which is The Truth, because you're leaving California.
Yeah.
And so where did you write this, like on a plane or something?
No, I wrote it, started writing it when I got to New York, which is where I live now. But it was really lamenting. I mean, 35 years off and on I'd been in California, and it's the place where all my firsts happened,
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was writing it kind of as a sad goodbye letter.
Well, all you got to do if you start feeling too bad about it, get on the freeway at rush hour. That'll end it right there. You'll never want to come back and you'll remember why you left. But other than that, we do have beautiful weather, and there's a lot of really good reasons to be out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But sometimes there's a few reasons to leave, but people are good. And so let's hear this tune.
Okay, well, I'll play you a part of it. Goodbye, California, my fair weather home. I'm heading through these canyons all alone. I've got my memories packed away, nothing left behind. A couple hundred stories on my mind. Sun-kissed diamonds dance on the sea. Waves hit the sand, crash into me. As I turn around to leave. So goodbye, California, I'm rolling on. Just a few more miles, I'll be gone. Headed back to where I belong. Goodbye, California, by my old friend. I always knew that one day this would end. You took me in when I was a boy, but now I've got to go. Hit the gas, turn up that radio. Sun-kissed diamonds dance on the sea. The palm trees wave goodbye in the breeze. Don't it feel good to be free? Goodbye California, I'm rolling on. Just a few more miles, I'll be gone. Headed back to where I belong. Headed back to where I come from. Drinking down at the Starlight, those nights that wouldn't end. I raise a glass to all my closest friends. So goodbye California, yeah, it's time for me to go. Drop that top, turn up that radio. Sun-kissed diamonds dance on the sea. Waves hit the sand, crash into me. As I turn around to leave. Oh, goodbye California, I'm rolling on. Just a few more miles, I'll be gone. Headed back to where I belong. Heading back to where I come from. Beautiful guitar.
Sound great. Hey, that's Kiefer Sutherland right here. You know, by the way, of course, you're playing this Everly Brothers guitar.
Yeah.
But we were talking about, you know, some of his influences, and you mentioned Cat Stevens,
yeah,
who played in Everly's as
well. Yeah, so he did, and I played one of his guitars at the Gibson Garage in London, England.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, there was a resonance to that guitar that I was like, oh my gosh. And Gibson only made 50 copies of his guitar. He sold it back in, I think, 71,
yeah,
the original. But there was just something so special about the guitar. And then I come here and you've got two of them.
yeah.
And I pick it up and I play it, and it's just, they're just so beautifully balanced.
One thing I like about these new ones, as opposed to the old ones, is these have like a smaller fixed bridge,
Yeah.
where the old ones have like this big wide bridge, and
Yeah.
it's adjustable, and
And then
it
I've
puts
seen
a
a
lot
bunch
more
with the
weight.
mustache bridge too.
It's not a well, a mustache bridge is not what they came with originally.
Right.
The original J200s and SJ200s had the open mustache, but the Everly Brothers, the guitars came with these big wide bridges, and it really weighs the top down a bit.
Mm.
So I think these new ones really
Yeah,
probably
no, it's-
sound
it's-
great to start off with, and throw some ears on them. And
Well, and they do, and there's something so mellow. I like to sing quiet, you know, if I'm home and whatever, and especially if I'm writing, I like to sing quietly and just kind of, you know, and this guitar is actually incredibly balanced for that, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of the older guitars will have just a lot more depth, right? And so this is kind of,
And these pickups that are in these guitars
the
are
LR
actually
bags,
really good
yeah,
too. You know.
the LR bags, and this was, so the Cat Stevens one had a cross sound hole pickup.
Mm-hmm.
These are the, I don't know exactly what kind of LR bags pickups these are, but I mean, it just sounds great.
I think they're kind of matched up to this particular guitar, and it really works.
Yeah, and the thing that Cat Stevens said, that this guitar changed his guitar playing really forever, because it was so big that he felt he could get really percussive with it, and so he kind of and banged on it, and it took it. Yeah.
Well, he had so many great songs,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
who else did you really love back in the day?
Oh my gosh,
When you were first starting, what kind of got you into it?
from everything from Cat Stevens, James Taylor, to a lot of the harder, I mean, AC/DC, Aerosmith, Tom Petty was someone who I thought could kind of jump in and out. Him and Mike Campbell could just jump in and out of every world, and so they were probably my favorite rock band growing up. Van Morrison was a favorite, so Jackson Browne was a favorite. I mean,
Jackson's
real
incredible.
singer-songwriters. And then it was later that I got into country and kind of, which I consider the Everly Brothers still part of it. The Everly Brothers, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard's one of my favorite songwriters of all time. And so,
incredible. I've got a buddy of mine named Mark McKay who lives in Nashville, but he's a fantastic songwriter too. That I think he's one of the young guys that you probably would dig.
oh, cool!
I'll have
check it
to
out.
turn you on to him.
I'll check it out.
So, Kiefer, thank you so
My
much
gosh,
for
it's so
coming
good
in.
to
Thank
see
you
you
for
again.
doing the.
Cheers.
I've asked them before. One of these times I got to get you to do a video in the store, and I'm so flattered that you're.
Well, oh my gosh,
willing to do it.
absolutely. I mean, and just for all of you out there to know that Norm's been putting up with me sniffing around his guitar collection in his store now for at least 25 years. So,
Quite all right,
yeah.
and we're good buddies, and it's just really a pleasure, and I'm so honored that you are the executive producer.
I
of
was
our
so
doc-
honored to be a part of it, and then yeah, I mean, I think there's so many amazing people in that documentary. And
We got some of the last.
we need to get it out, and we need to get it seen. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
Robbie
special.
Robertson, last
Yeah,
Robbie Robertson's
yeah,
interviews,
yeah.
Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters,
Yeah.
one of his last interviews. So I'm proud of it, and we've got to get it out.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna do it.
thank you again, buddy.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hate to lose you, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be
You're
seeing
gonna,
you.
at this rate, if I keep getting jobs back in Los Angeles, I'll probably see you more.
Now that you move away, that's when they'll
That's
all
when
come
the
in
work
where they'll be
comes.
from
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Never fails.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Great to see you.
Thank you
man.
so much.
Cheers.
All
Cheers.
right.
Thanks
The
for
great
letting me play.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Awesome.
Thank you.